most of us have had brioche before. It's a wonderful enriched dough that bakes beautifully into a whole wide variety of different baked goods. But if you have never tried whole wheat brioche, you might be in for a surprise. You might think that it would be dense and flavorless, but let this recipe prove you wrong. This is a great beginner recipe because we're only going to use 50% whole wheat flour. This makes it much easier to work with, and you're going to get the results that you want. Now let me walk you through this project step by step. While brioche isn't hard to do, it is a little time consuming, and there's a few things that you do need to know to get the best results. So stick around and I'm going to show you how, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the new videos that are coming out because I'm going to show you ways to use your brioche dough. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to activate our yeast. If you're using instant yeast, you just skip the step and mix everything all together. But what I did is I added in my water, my brown sugar, and my yeast. Going to let this sit for about 5 minutes just till it activates. Now this is the pumpkin brioche that I'm showing. I'm going to add a recipe for the pumpkin brioche and also just for regular brioche. So you start out and you mix everything together. The dough is going to look a little bit stiff, and that's the way that it should be because we are going to add in a lot of butter. Now making brioche is a process. So what you do is you mix together all your ingredients like I showed you for about a minute, and then you start dropping in your butter about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons at a time. You saw I just dropped in one. Once you add that in, you're going to let it mix for 45 seconds to a minute. This is going to be a very slow process. It takes me about 20 minutes to make brioche. It's not hard. Of course, you can see the machine is doing all the work for me, but adding in the butter just takes time. Now you'll notice this is about 5 minutes into it that the dough just keeps getting shaggy. That is what it's supposed to do, and don't panic. This is what it looks like. Here we are about 7 minutes into it. Very shaggy. I've added in the last of the butter. But now what we're going to do is we're going to mix this for 7 to 10 minutes, and that's when you're going to start getting a smooth dough. You can see it's looking better. And then here we are at the end of that 7 or 10 minutes. I can't remember what I did. The dough is very smooth. It's very pliable. And then we're going to want to do the window test on this. And what you do is you stretch it between your fingers very gently, and you're going to see it, you can pull it apart easily. We are using whole wheat flour, so it's not going to be perfectly smooth as if you were using all-purpose flour, but you could see that it's really easy to stretch it out, and it's very pliable. The gluten is developed. Now, you can let this dough double and use it right away, but I really like to put it in the refrigerator overnight. You can see I sprayed a bag, put it into the Ziploc bag. It goes in the freezer for 24 or 12 hours, something like that. And then it's so much easier to use. I also like to do this because it hydrates the wheat and it makes it a lot easier to work with, and it makes the dough so much more tender. The next day when you pull it out, it's going to be a little bit stiff, but that's okay, and it's ready to work with. Now in the next couple videos, I'm going to show you a few ways to use, well actually the next 3 videos, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use brioche dough that I use all the time. And I promise you, you are going to love this dough. It's the best to work with and it tastes amazing.